Managing the orders you receive through your Infigo system is an essential part of the process. Infigo provides a range of tools to facilitate this, including integrations with multiple MIS solutions. In this tutorial, we'll focus on the order management capabilities inbuilt into Infigo, but also take a very brief look at what advantages integrating with your third-party MIS can bring. So to begin, I'm just in the Infigo admin area, logged in as my storefront administrator. I'm going to start off by clicking on the sales section and going to orders. Now, any order taken through the active Infigo storefront will have a fully detailed entry within the orders area. Each order will appear as a separate row down here, with search options allowing you to filter through large numbers of orders to easily identify the one that you want. Clicking on View on a particular row will take you to a more detailed screen concerning the chosen order. We'll take a look at some of the key pieces of information available to administrators concerning orders taken through your Infigo storefronts. So just picking out a few of the options in here. First of all, we can see that we do have an order status. So that's showing us the status as it stands at the moment of that order. A combination of all the jobs contained within the order. If you want to force change the order status, you can do that from within this screen with the drop-down list over on the right-hand side. And you can see there the default status changing options that you have available. Scrolling a bit further down, you can see financial information to do with this particular order. So for example, this will show you the payment method that's being utilized. It will show you the amount that we're expecting. And we also have the ability to change those order details if we wish to do so as well. So click on Edit, and then you can update any of the financial data within that order. You've also got the ability in here to authorize a refund or a partial refund. In our sample storefront here, the only option that we provided for payment was via purchase order. So this is another location where you're able to locate the purchase order number that's been input when the user placed this order. Going across to the next tab, we have the billing information and the delivery information. At the bottom of the delivery information, we also have some additional options, such as the ability to change the delivery method if that's applicable. You can also input information such as a tracking number, which will be made available both to your team in shared print operations that we'll get to in a moment, and to the user themselves when they log into their account on the front end. The next tab along shows all of the products contained within that order. So each of them will have their own order line. And inside here, we also have the ability to cancel any of those particular jobs or edit any of those particular jobs. So for example, if I want to update the price of my stock product, which is currently reading as 0, I can just type a new value in here. The final tab here is in relation to order notes. So this will give you an overview of any action that's been performed on that particular job. So this might be things such as the sending of relevant emails. It could be if the status has been changed from one thing to another. And you've also got the ability to add some additional messages and additional entries to these order notes. Also with the ability to display those to the customer if you want to as well. So if you need to put something on here such as problems with payment information, or if there's a problem with the production or the delivery, then those can be placed in here as a note, just so it's kept up to date and relevant to that particular job. Going back to the sales tab, also in here we have the ability to see currently unplaced orders in people's baskets. So in this case, we only have one example, which I think is my storefront administrator. But you can see on here that I've got a customer with 2 items currently in their basket. Next, let's take a look at shared print operations. So shared print operations is an area of your Infigo admin screen where orders from all storefronts on a platform can be viewed. So orders are split into jobs within SPO, or shared print operations, with jobs of different product types, such as stock, mega edit, or static PDF, split into the separate tabs that you can see across the top of the screen. So for example, if I go across to static products, this will show me all of the static PDF products that have been placed on the entire platform. Underneath those tabs, you have some additional filtering options that allows users to locate jobs by a range of different metrics. One of those is the ability to refine the search down to a particular storefront. So for example, if I change this down to our currently active storefront, we see only the job that's been placed on our sample storefront. Click on the plus icon next to one of these rows to see some additional information. Now, the actual row just gives you some summary information on that particular job, such as the current status of that particular job. So we can see here that the output has been created. We can see the delivery type that's been selected, and we can see a recommended due date. Now, if we click on that plus icon, we see a lot more information in here, a lot more detail. And we'll go through the very basic explanation of what some of these allow you to do. Some of them may require additional configuration in order to function correctly, and information on how to perform those additional configuration steps can be found elsewhere in the Infigo Academy. So first and foremost, you can see in here that there are product information details. So as it suggests, this is giving you information on the product that's been ordered as part of that job. And if there is a output file associated with that particular job, it will also be available to download from this area. So for example, if you're utilizing a static PDF, mega edit, or an upload product. Over on the right-hand side, you have the ability to contact a user. Now, this is one of those that will require some additional configuration. Your primary use case here is to send emails to the customer if there's additional information you require from them, but you will need to configure email accounts before that can proceed. Coming further down, we have shipping information. This will show you things such as the weight of this particular job, the weight of the particular item, shipping method, and dispatch and delivery dates. Again, you can put a tracking number in here. A lot of the information that we see within this particular table, again, requires additional configuration, information on which you can find elsewhere in the Infigo Academy. In the center, we have job notes. So this is quite similar to what we saw in the sales screen, where we can see all of the actions and the notes that have been placed on this particular order. On the right-hand side, we have some peripheral downloadable documents. So these are documents which are created in association with a job. So you can see it automatically generates a job ticket, an invoice, and a packaging slip. Now, by default, all of these are Infigo branded. However, we do have the capability to brand that however you see fit. And again, that's going to be covered elsewhere in the Academy. And then on the bottom row here, we have information related to the wider order. So this is showing the order in which this job is contained. It's showing us the price, the payment method, the overall weight, and some additional information. And then over on the right-hand side, we have the status history of this particular job. So this goes into a little more detail than the order status that we saw in the sales section. This is giving us much more detail on this particular job. If I go to show all, for example, you can see all the stages that this job has currently been through, right from output creation pending, then the order was completed, the output creation was started, and the output was created. If we wanted to manually change the status from here, such as it had been printed, we can change the status, and that will be registered on the status history. So where next with your orders? So with our orders placed into Infigo, we now have to decide how to move them to the next stage of our workflow. In many cases, this takes the form of integrating with a third-party MIS software, such as PrintIQ or SiteFlow. Infigo maintains plugins with many of the major MIS providers, allowing data to be passed to and fro between it and Infigo. The data passed and the form it takes will differ based on the third-party MIS being utilized. For MIS software we do not provide bespoke plugins for, Infigo also offers Connect Flow. This is designed as a tool to push information out of Infigo in custom formats, which can be read by a large variety of third-party systems. The Infigo Academy contains a growing number of resources dedicated to the various MIS solutions that we integrate with. If you're not planning to integrate with an MIS at this stage, then we highly recommend configuring hot folders on your Infigo storefronts. And you can see reference to print locations and hot folders right down here. Infigo's hot folder capabilities allow job outputs along with additional job files, such as packaging slips and invoices, to be routed directly to specific folders and locations, ensuring a smooth workflow. Steps on how to configure and utilize hot folders within Infigo can be found elsewhere within the Infigo Academy. However, we do highly recommend that this is your immediate next step if you're not planning to set up an MIS plugin.